Hello guys, on this tutorial I'm going to show you how to work with script files in MATLAB. This is going to be really short because it's not there's no much of a difference on how you use script files in MATLAB compared to the workspace. So typically when you open MATLAB, this is what you're looking at. You're looking at your current folder, your command window, and your workspace. So the question is how we create codes or script files in MATLAB. If you go to the top left side of MATLAB, you will see the option New Script. So if you click on that one, it will open what we call the script file. Basically, it's an open or a blank document where you can type instructions. These can be popped out if you want. There's the option of basically undock and dock. I'll leave it dock so we can see the instructions running at the bottom here on the command window. But eventually you will see me with this window undocked. So how we run it? Let's say we want to run or create the variable x equals 5. Okay, so we put a colon, y equals 3, a colon. You can see we're not executing instructions but just typing them, and then we say x plus y. It's gonna so c is gonna be equal to x plus y. So we have that going on, and then for example we can create other things like let's say x is equal, let's say let's not make x, but let's make time. It's gonna be equal going from 0 to 1 second with a step size of 0.01. So this will create me a vector or an array of from 0 to 1 with a spacing of 0.01. And let's put this inside a sinusoid, so it's gonna be y sine. You can see I'm trying to not use sine because that's a function in MATLAB. So it's going to be sine of what? So let's going to make it 2. Let's make it so if it's going to be omega, let's make it 5 times t. Okay, and I will show you how this thing works. So first, there's multiple ways we can run the code. We can run the code instruction by instruction or a set of instructions. For example, if we want to run only x equals 5, we select that part, right click, and evaluate selection or F9. And that will run just x equals 5. Okay, and you can see that's going to be stored here on our workspace. Or we can run the whole thing, select, evaluate selection, okay, and that will basically run the whole code that we selected and even will give us the answer. So it will see c equals 8. Okay, we can select the whole code again, evaluate selection. Whoops, undefined. Yep, if I call it, it should be time. Okay, evaluate selection, and y is not executed. Y equals to sine. Oh, you can see MATLAB is telling me that there was a typo. By thinking on sine functions, I actually typed sine. So it's not sine, but sin. Okay. Again, evaluate selection, and there you go. It's displaying me basically my sine function in here. I can even plot it if I want to do it. So we can say plot of time comma y sine. Okay. Select just that part of the code that I want, evaluate selection, and in a couple of seconds there's my sine function. So do you see it? Not really that difficult from the command window. Rather than me typing one instruction at a time, what we are doing is basically typing all the instructions as one and running them, all of them together. That's one way to do it. That's one way to run the code. The other type of, or the other way to run it is by using the run instruction. But before that, usually on all my codes, I like to have a clear and CLC because that will clear my workspace and that will clear my command window, giving me a fresh start on my code. This is a pretty good practice because that will prevent you from having old variables on your workspace that might interfere with whatever you're doing in your code. So if I try to run it right now and say run, okay, it will ask me to save the code. Okay, there's no way you can run it without saving the code. So let's just make give it a name, so test. Okay, test space, let's just call it my first test. Okay, and I press enter, and MATLAB will give me an error. What is happening? MATLAB files or M files or script files should not be should not have spaces in between. If we want to have spaces, basically what we need to do, we need to write underscore. If by mistake we have spaces on the name of the file, basically what is going to happen, we're going to be having a problem and MATLAB will not be executing the file properly. So I play save and executes my whole code every time I press run, or if I press F5, it will run my code. So this is pretty much how we use script files. There's no much to learn in terms of script files other than you can type the instructions in there and execute them as many times as you want on there. So you will see me working with a lot of script files from this point forward. So be aware of how I'm working. Most of the time, I'll be working like this with the undocked. Okay, so this is going to be my script file, and I'll be switching between this and the command window to look at my results. Okay guys, that's pretty much it for now. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.